Hello, listeners. Chelsea K. Podcaster here. Today's podcast is understanding. You know that understanding is required in many ways, but how many people can really apply it? We need it when we work with others, and we need it in our everyday life, in our relationships. People can often deal with difficult situations and that they can't resolve, but still need to understand one another. What about oftentimes we can encounter difficult situations and we need a solution in order to resolve the issue? There can be misunderstanding in different scenarios of life. How do you handle a situation when you are being misunderstood by others? Understanding helps us in many ways, and we can learn to relate with others and make better decisions. It helps us to avoid conflict, to appreciate diversity, and know what we are able to do with others and with our skills, and make better decisions. That's also our intuition. You need to understand how to relate with people well. You will understand your audience better and appreciate culture and language of others. And you can adapt to other people's needs and communicate better when you have understanding. You can also share your emotions with others and have a better understanding of the company or the clients that you deal with or want to work with. You can help others resolve their problems and give better advice. People need somebody who understands them. They need to be heard and listened to. You need to be a good listener at the same time and know how to give an answer back that is appropriate for the person to hear and to receive. Learn to listen more so that you can understand better and come up with a better solution or answer to their question or concerns. Allow the other person to talk and relate with them. The most successful people are those who understand others and sincerely care about their needs. You can imagine that being in a company, you have so many different people with so many different languages and cultures. How will you deal with these people without being misunderstood or misunderstanding them? It takes great wisdom in order to choose carefully your words to speak to each one and deal with their problem, or to deal with the person in general. You need to be willing to open up your heart and not assume or build a defensive wall, which can be easily done if people are not careful, especially if you are going through some kind of emotion at the time. Then you need to step away if you have not learned how to cope with your emotions. In the job, it's most critical to relate with people by being genuinely concerned because it affects your job. And you will eliminate issues when you really care about what others have to say. It is actually necessary to improve things. If we have the ability to make a positive out of the negative, it will benefit us. The more improvements we make, the less negative feedback and less conflicts. As a family, there is also misunderstanding that can happen between experiences in life and be different from each other. We need to be more open. Sometimes other beliefs can create situations that cause conflict, and we need wisdom to speak out and empathize. And no, not all people may understand us, but find a common ground that you can relate to, a common connection that can diffuse all arguments and strain. Division among people have always been an issue. Understanding can be easy to develop when you learn to open and adapt to others. It takes a willing heart to want to connect with others, and there are various ways we can become more understanding towards each other. Impressions usually remain in our mind, and we've been told not to judge others based on their appearance. Often we look outwardly and don't allow people a chance to show us who they are. and it takes time to develop relationships to know somebody. Some people know people because of experience dealing with people and strong intuition. People can discern the behavior of another without knowing them. This is a gift that everyone has, and learn to look beyond and spend quality time with others. You need to put yourself in the other person's place to truly understand them and change your perspective, and avoid judging them before you get to know them. Use words that are inclusive rather than excluding others. Ask questions. You need to know the whole story before you determine what are the facts and what is fiction. Check with your emotions to show empathy before you react. Think carefully before you speak. Observe the emotions and keep calm. You will need to learn more if you need to improve your abilities to cope with others. You need to be patient and kind too, and listen to other people's experiences carefully. Learn from them and talk to people who stay optimistic. Learn to start conversations politely and to follow new people on social media. Discover their interests. Help the community. This will enable you to be able to relate with more people. The more effective you are, the better and more effective influence you will have on others. Your network will go faster, and leaders will be able to understand a wide range of topics to see the beauty in others. The connection is long-lasting, and you will gain wisdom and lets you do many things. You need to understand and have wisdom to guide people on the right path. You learn to respect moral values more, and the importance of honesty, integrity, and practice right behaviors. You become more competent and value others more than yourself. So be professional and courteous with others. Be nice to them and make the time to practice what you communicate. You can improve your English skills too. And you can practice with your friends. You can listen to videos on communication and understanding and take time to address those issues you know more, and you will need to know more about the cultures so that you can understand other people better. Decide not to get offended by others and clarify if you need understanding of what you are saying and what they are saying. Reword what you say and what they said to you, and speak slow enough for others to get your message. Speak more simple if they don't understand the vocabulary you are using. Language can become a barrier, especially if it's not somebody's mother tongue. Keep in mind, everyone has a different understanding of what is spoken to them, and try to be patient and to repeat your words over again. Sometimes you might have to say even slower for them to catch it, especially if English is not their first language. You can decide from what you know what is the best decision. And when you make the time to practice and to prepare yourself for different situations and scenarios, you will be better off. Especially as a leader, you need to be more careful about what you say to others, and you need to understand the cultures and their backgrounds and exactly what each word means to them. You can discover where you have common practices, and you can teach your culture with them. You will learn from each other, and then you will be able to respect others better. Trust also must be developed between two individuals. Take time to apply the methods to form understanding. Focus on those you need to know and do more of, and appreciate the steps you take to improve. You will see things become a lot easier among people. Imagine what the other person is dealing with and think about what you can do to help them through the process. You will be able to better relate with them and empathize with them, and they will be able to listen to you and understand what you're saying, and they will be able to take in any solutions that you provide for them. As long as you are objective with them, they are more open to receive it from you. Imagine what the other person is going through in their mind when you are talking to them. Advise and counsel accordingly if they ask you for helps. And you can ask any advice you want if you are in need of advice also. Sometimes people may prefer to figure out things themselves, but other people want help. And you need to know what type of person you are dealing with before you offer to help others. People want what somebody may have, but for a different reason. So you can find ways to develop understanding daily, and it gives you an advantage. As long as you know what you're saying is helpful and is positive, they may be able to consider that option that you're offering them. Remember, understanding is about caring for the other person. You need to be wise in what you say to people when you want to get your point across to them if they haven't understood it the first time. Make sure that you don't automatically think it's because they're not listening, because it may be that they are deciding and thinking about how to respond to you or trying to understand what it is that you are saying. As I mentioned earlier, you need to be able to open up yourself more to other people and to know because they are not like you. You will have to adapt to them. You will need to empathize with them. You will need to learn to work with them and to be careful not to offend them. So thank you for listening to Chelsea K Podcaster. And if you like this podcast, please consider listening to other podcasts that are also available on this channel or on YouTube. And you can share, like, and subscribe on whatever platform that you are listening to. If you are interested in supporting, please send your funds by e-transfer or by PayPal to kayunkk@gmail.com. And you can also check out my website and description for further details. Stay tuned for the next week's podcast and have yourself a great day, afternoon, evening. Thank you very much.